Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to Factorio, the Mega Factory, Episode 2, where we're going to be fixing some of the problems we identified during the tour in the last episode. Right on. So today we're going to be starting with the Copper Foundry. As you can see, the chest supply area here is actually falling apart in that the train demand is too high. So there's too many trains coming in requesting copper for this belt system to keep up. Now our supply side of raw copper ore is doing fine. In fact, it's likely this train will sit here and park for a while, as will this one, right? Because the chests don't even really need copper yet. Because over here, we're just maxing out these belts as fast as we can, and both buffer systems are, for the most part, full. This one fell behind a little bit, but considering all the copper we used, that's not a problem. The problem is over here on this end, right? Because what's going to happen is, and you can see there's other trains, they were waiting to pull right in as soon as the last one left. So these first containers, whose chests actually have copper in them, they're going to stuff these cargo containers full right away. And then we'll be waiting on this one. Similarly over here, this one unloaded lopsided, or loaded lopsided, however you want to look at it. But it's the same thing. So you can see it's trailing about halfway. So what's going to happen is, when these containers get full, which they officially are now, and this one is not even at the halfway point yet. So now as other trains pull up and wait, exactly, the problem becomes exacerbated. So we need to alleviate this. Well, how do we need to alleviate this? Well, there's a couple things that we can do, and actually we're going to do more than one thing. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to expand these 4 belts into actually 6, as opposed to, or I guess that would be 12. So we're going to change it into 18. So we're going to do 6, 12, and 18 rows, and then, oh no, so I guess it would be 24, yeah. 24 rows of chests, and to do that, we're going to have to change the way this whole area is laid out. So let's just start doing it right now. So we're going to have to get rid of this substation. We're going to get rid of this fuel storage area here. We don't need that, because we're going to be upgrading our trains to nuclear fuel as well, so we can stop with all of the solid fuel distribution networks. Okay, over here, we're going to need our robots to disassemble this section. So that's going to have to change. And then what we can do is we can go to our requester chests right here. And we can start putting requesters down here, because these chests are actually going to request from the network to be full at all times. And to help the robots out that are going to be trying to go to the nearest source, what we're going to do is we're actually going to come over here to this area. We're going to change the final row of this buffer system into passive providers. And then the same thing here, because this is the last row of this buffer array before it gets loaded onto these belts. And then we're going to do the same thing here. And what this will ensure is that these chests will get emptied of all copper to ensure that the belts are loading the trains as quickly as possible. Now that's kind of a band-aid. You don't want a ton of robots coming here all the time. So to keep the belts moving fluidly, you can tell they're jamming up a little bit. So that's why we're going to fix the belt intake system to the train on the actual train side. Now we're going to change this requester chest to actually be looking for nuclear fuel. And then we're going to take all of the solid fuel out of this, and we're just going to let the system fill the train with nuclear fuel. And that'll help the train's speed and acceleration. Alright, so now we're going to take this fresh blueprint here. We're going to copy this row and this row. And we're just going to do that over and over again. And this will help us load the trains up a little faster. And now we run into the problem with substations. Okay, so this is where we have to get a little creative in order to not have to reinvent the wheel and redesign the whole thing and tear it all up, which I'm not opposed to doing. The robots make it significantly easier to accomplish. However, I don't believe it to be necessary. We can put it down here, and it'll still line up, right? And then the same thing over here. So we'll put one here. Oh, no, let me get off of it. One here. And then we put one here. Okay, now everything is powered. They're not in range of a RoboPort. That's fine. So the RoboPorts, because we're going to need a few of them, we're actually going to run them in a line like that. Because we want to make sure that if these chests need to be filled by the passive provider network, that they will be able to. Alright, now this is where we're going to have to get a little creative. Because we're going to have to tunnel past... Oh, nope, those are going the wrong way. We're going to have to tunnel past the substation, which is just 2x2, so that's fine. And then it'll be the same down here. Past the substation. Beyond that, the rest of it should look like that. Should. Yeah, I think this will work. It's going to be tight up against this. We don't have a whole lot of room. We can pull these solar panels out if we need the one extra space that it's going to give us. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be, though. This actually needs to be... nope, right there. See, that's the burden with doing it like that. Okay. Now, we have them ready to receive copper. What we don't have is this. This has to be totally reworked here. So I'm thinking our best bet is going to be to split it into 3 and then split it into 2 more. So then we're going to need splitters here. Right. And to split it into 3 before this... It's going to have to be, let's see, I'm thinking like this, right? So our path will come in, and then that will split, right? Okay, so belt A comes in, it splits, now you have A and B. A splits again, B splits, and just cycles back around. So now you have this one is, this belt will be half here, and this will be a quarter, and this will be a quarter, and this quarter will cycle back around and be evenly distributed between these 2 quarters. It's about as close as you can get to a 3-way split, but it's not quite a 3-way split. I mean, this will sort of dump on this side, but it'll generally favor this side, as I seen, which just circles it back around. This is going to work, though. As far as a 1 to 3 split, that's kind of the accepted standard. And we're going to leave little gaps if we need to, because we're going to have to run more belts. Okay, so to repeat this process, we need at least one space, right? That's going to be tough. I don't think we'll be able to... Maybe. Maybe we will. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be really difficult to fit all this in here. Okay. This one we sort of tilted at an angle. What if we did this one more head-on? Right? Because if we did it like this... Okay, no, this... I think this is our solution here. One like that. This one's straight. Right, so this one goes here. That one goes there. This one curves like that, and then this one has to curve back around. Okay. There you go. That's 3 and a 6. I guess we could do that here as well. I mean, yeah, let's make them all look the same. I think that's going to be the appropriate way to do it. So we'll just grab our trusty blueprint here. 1, 2, and 3, and that makes 4. Okay. Now we just have to find a way to tunnel the belts over here into this position. So our belts need to hit here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I mean, the first one is pretty much going to be the easiest. But I'm thinking we need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll be like this. And then an underground belt, another underground belt. I think this makes the most sense. But we'll wire it up and then we'll analyze it. Okay, so let's get our underground belts. 1 and there, 1 and there, 1 and here, and you're going to go over there. Okay. The other ones are going to need more underground belts to continue the process, right? And this one's going to need an underground belt to here. That wasn't so difficult. Okay, I kind of had this vision of that was going to be a lot scarier than it was, but it wasn't bad at all. All right, so now all we need to do is connect our belts up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this might have fixed our original problem, because as you can see, this belt is not slowing down at all now. And we're loading the train with 2 fast inserters, or 2 stack inserters extra than it was. So this will definitely keep the copper flowing and the trains going. Now, how do we end up with this? How do we fix this problem? Well, we're going to take our requester chests. We put in all our passive providers. And we're going to tell these, and make sure that you always have at least 2,000 copper in you. And if not, request it from the network. And we're officially loading trains here with nuclear fuel now. Boom. So these robots should be on their way. Let's see, we're currently... Oh, we just commanded 10,000 logistical robots. So putting in the request for 2,000 copper here means an army of robots are going to fly over here. Or they're going to bring it from storage. Okay, whoa, we're going to have a massive robot migration now. All right, so we're going to plan ahead. We're going to build some areas to help the robots with their migratory path. So these robot hubs allow robots to charge, which is pivotal when they're trying to path to where they need to deliver copper from. Okay, we're now commanding 12,000 logistics robots. Oh, we're going to start seeing some serious halos. Let's see, we're going to need sort of a little hub network here as well. Pretty significant one, actually. All right, so what happens is as the robots try to back up, and you're starting to see the beginning of it now, the robots start to back up around the roboport. They just wait for to have a spot for their batteries. And when their batteries are dead and they're trying to find the nearest roboport, they move really slow. So what you start to see are these lines form, and eventually the lines will turn into halos. They'll get little rings around them because the amount of robots that are waiting to charge are just phenomenal. And of course, because the trains keep pulling up as fast as they can, we're actually having a hard time stockpiling the copper in the chest. Yep, so the system is commanding for more robots to respond because the copper is just needed that much. But you can see we are sending the copper faster than the train is backlogging. We have an issue. So they're not pulling. Hold on, we're going to walk. Ooh, that was dangerous. We're walking through a non-crosswalk. The copper is coming not from the passive providers in the Foundry. So let's figure out where exactly our copper is going. And it looks like we're going to need potentially some more roboports over here. So I'm just going to put in a little hub here. Try to help everybody find a spot where they can recharge. And let's go see if we can figure out where the copper is coming from. Oh, I guess I could have just used my camera. Ah, so there's storage chests here, yep, that are full of copper ore. So of course the system is going to pull from that first. I should have realized. That's fine. That's okay. We just have to give them a clear-cut path. We need to give them a place for everybody to charge their batteries so that when they come in, they're not moving really slow. And that looks like that might have done it. This little hub might have actually fixed it. We do have a little group here that is struggling. And I'm not sure why these robots aren't taking the nearest roboports available to them, but at this point, okay, we're only commanding 5,000 logistics robots at this time, so it looks like they've likely caught up. And of course, the next train is pulling up. So we want to make sure we go to each and every train and try to pull out all their solid fuel if we can, because otherwise they'll just burn it for a long time until it gets replaced by the nuclear fuel. That looks pretty good. These chests now have a good stockpile of copper in them. And it looks like it's hovering at about... Oh, that is great. So it looks like between the robots delivering copper and the stack inserters filtering 6 belts down as fast as they can, the amount of copper in the chest really was not changing. It was barely going down, barely. And now it's already caught back up with the weight of the train not happening. So now what we need to do is we need to duplicate that over here. And we might have to change these roboports to make that happen. But we'll see. I'm not going to assume I know how it's going to change. Let's get rid of, let's see, all of these belts are going to be in the way. And these lights, these substations. Let's see, what else? This is in the way here. And then this belt system is in the way. Okay. So as you know, when you get to the end game of Factorio, it really becomes about finding a good idea and then just copying it. So what the plan is we're going to take, here we go, we're going to take this blueprint, this fresh blueprint here, and we're going to say from the train sign to the final row of belts to include the substations, we want that copied. Thank you. And now let's see if it lines up, which it does, but with issues. So the roboports are in the way, and these have to be requester chests for it to copy all the requester chest data over. All right, so we're going to have to find a new place for our roboports, but that's fine. Where there's a will, there's a way. We're going to do it. Now we have all these logistical robots on us that we have to do something with. We're just going to put them out onto the system. I imagine they were already on the system. Oh my goodness. Wow, all of these roboports are full. That's incredible. But that's okay. We're tearing them up anyways. Tear them up, everybody. No. No, tear them up. Okay, well, we probably need to clear out our inventory of some nonsense. As I'm looking at it now, we don't need those or those. We definitely don't need all these copper plates. And then it's probably good. Okay, it's pulled up. Excellent. That power line needs to go away, and now we can copy. There it is. Should be just like... Oop, nope. These underground belts are in the way. Okay. That's alright, we're going to get it squared away. Boom, there we go. Now this system is up and running, and we can put down... Are these roboports going to fit here? No, they're not. Okay. So it just means no roboports in the middle. Then what we need are maybe some roboports over here. Just to help out. Let's see if this works. There, that fits. Look at that. Okay, so we kind of reworked the copper lines, which I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. So let's snag these, and then we're going to change these as well. My plan Just go ahead and come down like this. Right. So now, because it's the end game and I don't want to say super lazy, but just because I can, the goal is going to be to just copy this, kind of like this, and like this. We want it to get close. Same with this one. Okay, good. So then we're going to run our copper down like this. Oh, also, we should have changed the chest that's giving fuel, right? To, yes. So let's make sure we take out all this solid fuel. Same with you. No. Okay, you have nuclear fuel. Good. Good, good, good. So this one is now feeding copper. So now all we have to do is carry this to... No! Here to here. Here to here. And then put this belt back. Voila. So we have effectively fixed our copper issue. Are we getting slow migrations? Oof, we are. This shouldn't be a problem, though, long-term. You can see the halos forming. But long-term, those chests are not going to get that low. Because they're commanded to hold 2,000 in them while they were empty, they freaked out and went, oh, every chest needs 2,000 copper immediately. But the reality is that those chests actually won't get that low in the future, because they will, when they get to like 1,990, they're going to go, oh, I need 10 more to get back up to 2,000. I think here we'll just go with a substation just to make it simple, and then we'll pop maybe some lights down. I sort of want it to look nice, but I don't want to assume I know how the belts are going to be going on the other places, because I honestly, I don't know which way the belts will be going. We'll get that robot hub and that radar back on. All right, so now copper is moving, and there are no trains waiting. Look at that. Okay, this train is waiting. But this train is going to be filled up actually very quickly. There it goes. So then the next train can go. Wonderful. And the robots will make sure that all of the chests have the required copper that they need at a minimum to load the train. Let's look at that. Okay, and so we're going to take out the fuel. Yeah, take out all that solid fuel. You guys don't need that. It'll take forever for you to burn through 3 stacks of solid fuel. Get on some of that nuclear fuel. Help you travel from A to B faster. Alright, and we can just grab solid fuel out of every train we see, but this is the issue, or this is the solution, and it's fixed. So we're going to mirror this in a few other areas where we're having issues. Oh, so close. We could do it 3, 4, 5 like that. I don't think we'll need many more robots, though. And you can just see now there's no hiccup in the belts at all. They're just flowing. Just as fast as a blue belt can carry a fully stacked blue belt being loaded onto the train. That's good. That's good. And that also means that with the robots filling up the storage chests, the requester chests, they're actually going to fill up the trains even quicker than 4 blue belts. All right, so that problem is fixed. Let's get ourselves a blueprint copy of it. I want the whole array, and then we're going to get rid of these. We're going to get rid of these requester chests, because these are going to have to be programmed for each spot. We don't want them requesting copper at the iron line, for example. So we're going to delete these from the blueprint. And then I think some of these belts will have to be deleted as well, but I'm not going to sweat that just yet. Let's go ahead and put that on our bar, and let's head over to the iron foundry, because the issue with the copper foundry is officially resolved. And it looks like we're starting to get all that solid fuel cycled out of there. Excellent. And the copper supply is just as good as it ever was. Trains offloading, more trains waiting. That's great. Okay, because copper was holding us back with some things, and now we'll get the copper out where it goes a little quicker. Now, the iron foundry has a different sort of problem, as you can see, but ultimately the same problem overall in that we're not getting enough iron plates through the system. Part of the problem is we're not bringing in the raw iron, so we're going to have to address iron mines. That's what we're going to do next episode. We're actually not going to mess with that this episode, because this episode is going to be about fixing our input lines. Now over here you can see that the demand really, we don't have as many trains coming here as the copper, and so the iron plate system didn't have a difficult time keeping up. In fact, it still looks like it's going just fine. However, we're planning for endgame research moving far, far into the future, and what we need is to be able to come up with systems that are able to accept more demand, and that's where we're at. So what we want is for our iron system to not end up like where our copper system was, and because we have the blueprint and we just designed it, there's no reason why we shouldn't go ahead and expand our iron line to be the same. So we're going to get rid of this fuel, and then at this point we need to get rid of the belts. So we're going to say from here, get rid of that. From here, get rid of that. Now this one comes from below, from the south. So that's going to be an interesting change to our blueprint. That might not be a direct copy. Let's see here. So if I line that up, it wants to play with everything but a little row of belts. Now it looks like those iron belts could be made to feed into there easy enough. We could rewire the other ones up. I think that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Alright, so let's go ahead and all of these belts need to be eaten up to here. And then I'll put in chest system just like this. Boom. Now that's going to take the robots a little bit of time, and of course I don't have all the parts necessary to do this. They're going to catch up. They're also going to program in the nuclear fuel items for the chests. We can go ahead and actually empty these trains now while we're here, because they won't be getting any more solid fuel. And the more of that we can take out of circulation on our trains, the better off we're going to be. Next, what we need to do is take our requester chests and put them here, because we're going to do the same thing where we request iron plates from the network in the event that we run below a minimum amount for what's being loaded on the train. Belts will still be the primary way of keeping up with demand, but since we have so many robots in such a large network, it just makes sense that we would try to use it to supplement our speed, our production issues when we need more speed. Okay, these belts here I'm going to say are going to go just like this, to here, to here. Then what we have... Okay, well, we're out of blue belts, so we're going to have to wait for the robots to bring us more. And it looks like right now... Okay, no, those requester chests aren't requesting items. So why are there so many logistics robots being utilized? Are they still struggling over here at the copper foundry to keep up? Oh, they are. Look at that. That's okay, we have a lot of copper plates in storage. I don't really see many robots moving slow. They're kind of all moving quick to where they want to go. We are getting some halos down here. These robots are moving slow. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. We're going to let it keep going. Have we got our belts yet? We have not. Sort of at the bottom of the priority right now, just because logistics robots are frantically trying to keep the copper filled in. Okay, well, we're just going to give you your nuclear fuel then, since these chests aren't filled in. But we can fill them in, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm thinking we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then kind of the same thing over here, like this. Give ourselves a substation and a substation. Boom, now these chests will fill up with nuclear fuel. We're going to have to keep an eye out now, though. We might have a train run out of fuel on the tracks because I took all its solid fuel when it left. So So hopefully it comes back. Hopefully it comes back before it runs out of gas. Do I have my belts yet? Still waiting on those belts. Alright, well let's go where we're a little closer to the network here. Here we have more of an intersection of the logic circuits, or the logic network, so hopefully we'll get our stuff a little quicker. I don't need that concrete. You can go here, you can go there. Hey, we're getting our belts and stuff. Okay, great. So the first big change is going to be like this. Up, and then up, 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 and then we'll just deconstruct all of this. And that, and that. Perfect. Nope, don't take my productivity modules. Not okay. Not a thing. Alright, this looks good. Now these belts need to come over. Like this. Up, and over. And over. Perfect. So now we'll get our underground belts. Boom, connected. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing that. I have, okay. And then here, it's like I put my belts on my number one, on my hotbar for number one and locked them. And then just never used it as a hotkey. I love it. You need fuel? Here, try this nuclear fuel. Woohoo! You'll never drive the same again. And there we go. So the only thing we haven't done... Oh, wait. We need roboports down here. Right, and then let's go ahead and put a couple over here. Maybe a substation to help power these that were left behind. Look at that. Not bad. And then I think what we'll do is we'll put the roboports here as well because we have no resource limitations and we can afford to go overboard with roboports as much as we want. I don't even think we're close to our power capacity. Oh yeah. We're not using anything right now while we're not researching. Okay, so the other change is going to be we're going to do the same thing here in that all of the destination or the final chests in the buffer are going to become passive providers. Does that music seem a little loud? The music seems a little loud. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Passive providers, and then the same thing over here. If it's the last chest in the buffer array that loads onto a belt, then it needs passive providers. So that we never have iron in the buffer system. So the whole point is that we never have iron in the buffer system that isn't ready to be loaded on a train. If it's not ready to be loaded on the train, then, and it's still stuck in this storage array, then the storage array is not serving its purpose, because the purpose is just to keep it to where if our mines dry up and we're not getting raw iron in, as was the case, we have this whole system of iron that has to filter through before it becomes a problem. So we have all this time to react and add more iron to the system. That's its purpose. Not to sit here and hog all the iron and not deliver it to the trains. That's unacceptable. Passive providers, passive providers. We're out of passive providers, so I'm waiting for the logistics network to bring me more. Looks like they're trying to. How is our logistic network doing? Okay, we're only using 5,000 robots right now. That's actually pretty good. There's our chests, okay. So we're going to continue with the passive providers. Excellent. Now that we have passive providers, we can come over here to this system and say, all right, if you don't have 2,000 iron, you should request it. To which it's going to say, well, I don't really have 2,000 iron on the sides because these side chest systems were just established. And I'm going to say, yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Why do we have stone in this chest? What? That's weird. Alright, let's make sure you're not using any solid fuel. Good. Alright, let's look for trains stuck on the tracks. Especially as it pertains to iron. You have fuel. Good. Or no, it's going to be plates, not... Alright, let's just take a peek. If we just click at the train stop, we can see. Anybody get stuck on the tracks somewhere? You're dropping off. You look like you're stuck on the tracks, actually. Look at that. Yes, you do. Everybody else is doing okay. Alright, let's go find our friend that got stuck on the tracks. We're going to run not through a crosswalk. It's dangerous. Don't do that, Thranxes. We have these fancy crosswalks that when you're on them, they communicate, or they're supposed to communicate to the train, that, hey, you're in here, and nobody needs to come through. But if the train beats you to the crosswalk, then it's supposed to shut the gates, preventing you from passing through. It's not perfect, especially when you're using, you know, so many exoskeleton walk modules, it gets less effective. But if I just stand here long enough, you'll be able to see that the train will stop. Anyways, it's not stopping. There it is, and it's jamming up all the trains. I knew better than to take the fuel away from the train before the nuclear fuel was loaded in. I knew better. Alright, so let's hop on the train, and let's give it some go juice. Boom. There we go. Woo! Now all the other trains can go. Look at that speed. 250% acceleration, 115% top speed. All about that nuclear fuel. There we go. Perfect. Just perfect. Alright. Next on our list of things that need to be expanded for their delivery problems was the steel. So the steel was actually the resource we lost the most of. Oof. Why not use the crosswalks? So bad about that. Especially since the update that now you can walk through certain areas where substations and stuff are that you couldn't walk through before. Here, we'll go to the crosswalk. Nobody wants to get run over by the train. Alright, we have a similar problem over here where this steel couldn't keep up, and this couldn't keep up. And this was falling behind from the iron, the raw iron, and the fact that we're not smelting enough of it, which we kind of went over this last episode. So my big change for steel smelting is that we need from here over to there copied. Just like that. That looks great. Okay, let's sit on that for a minute. Sometimes really all you need to do is just double up what you're already doing. And that's why robots are so grand. Alright, so we're gonna clear all this forest out. Deforestation. I know. Deforestation and all. But let's see. Where is my system I just copied? There it is. Okay, so now we're gonna put this here, line this up like this, and print. Print. What did I miss? Did I not get some trees over here, or? It is a couple of trees. Okay, we'll do that. We did not deforest enough. As long as the trees are slotted for deconstruction, I don't actually have to go over there and deconstruct them myself. I'm just going to tell the construction robots to do it. Boom. And there we go. So I want to make sure that my construction robots put down the power infrastructure and the roboports first. So I'm going to hang out near the roboports, because my personal robots are only allowed to pull from the stuff that's in my inventory, and I keep a little bit of all this stuff on hand. So as they start to lay out the bare bones, they're going to call for more help from construction robots, as you can see, which now they're doing to take down the trees. So we're actually, let's look at a thing here. I don't know, who's tied to the network? Everything ran out of power. How is that the case? Stand by. This one needs to be powered because it's connecting those two. All right, let's get some more roboports over here to help connect this up. Let's say one here and one here. All right, so now we're starting to get connected to the network, and we're currently pulling about 2,000 construction robots. Not that big of a build. But they are going to come over here and start to take care of everything. Now, anything else that I have on hand, yeah, see, I can let my robots help by destroying the trees. Oh, look, they don't have a clear path to get here. So they're trying to take the most direct route, right, which cuts over this water, and there's no areas for them to recharge through here. So they're all sort of trying to recharge their last stop somewhere around here, and then they're making a sprint forward across the water as fast as they can. That's okay. We don't need to sit here and hang out and wait for the whole thing to be built. That's not really what this is about. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to find out where we want these 4 belts to come in from and run them down here, which I'm thinking is going to be... I guess we could do it just like that. Let's do it just like that. So we're just going to walk this belt section back like this until... bingo. Okay. And of course, now we're out of belts, which that's okay. The network's kind of experiencing high call volume right now. Doo-doo-doo. Your logistic request will be answered in the order it was received. Your logistical request is very important to us. Please stand by while your blue belts are being shipped to you. All right, let's get that long power pole back. Perfect. And that's really all we need on the splitter half, and of course we don't have any underground belts either. Oh, we used up so much of our inventory building this array over here. And of course, look at that, it's coming together. It's taking time. The robots have a lot of materials they have to ship over here, and of course, as the roboports get built, they have even more ground that they have to cover. We're only using 1,000 construction robots, though. They don't seem to get nearly as highly demanded as the logistics robots get used. I think that's by design. Even when you're doing massive, large base additions and constructions, usually 1,000 construction robots can knock it out fairly quickly. It's more of a design by the size of the screen. I mean, if you scroll out as far as you can, and then you were to just copy all of this, I mean, there's not much more than 1,000 or 2,000 items on the screen at any given time. And even though you could technically blueprint larger than that, seeing outside the boundary of the screen to make sure nothing was obscuring the blueprint would become a nightmare. You would have to deconstruct just a massive zone of the ground. Hey, we're getting belts. Look at that. And then in. In like this, right? And then it's going to be the same thing. Over and down, over and down. Okay, so from here, we need the underground belts. Transferred. Transferred. And it's going to be the same thing over here. Transferred. Or, no, put those here. I'm trying to keep the stuff on my bar. Okay, so we have effectively doubled the steel plate production area. The only problem is that this isn't set up to receive raw iron, and even if it was, raw iron is sort of in high demand. Which, again, that's what we're going to do next episode, is to straighten out our iron extraction, our raw iron extraction. But this looks like it's going to be built just fine. I think I'll add 1 extra roboport, maybe. We'll do 3. Why not? Why not? And then we'll do just like that. Looks like one of our turrets was actually getting damaged. So we are going to have to address the fact that this is a kill world where the bugs were set pretty much to their maximum. And of course, these nests get oppressively thick, so we're going to have to push them back. We're still irritating them from the pollution, but we have things we have to do. We have to get our ducks in a row. In fact, we need to research more mining productivity while we're doing this. Okay, so we are set up to receive more steel plates now. Always a good thing. Well, what can we do with the steel plates we have? Well, we can rig up the passive provider system once again to say, hey, if there's any steel in this buffer system, you should make sure you carry it over to the chests that need it. And same thing here. We're going to go ahead and say these are requesters, and that's going to make things easier. It looks like I had already put requesters here for that reason. I think I did that during one of the stress tests on the live streams. So we're going to get rid of all these lights. And we're going to get rid of that, this thing. I don't even know how important that is. We're going to cut down all the way here like this. Boom. Okay, looking good. We're getting it ready and squared away. Now what we need, let's keep that productivity research going. What we need really is just a singular blueprint, not a large one of both, but just a singular of one. So let's do this. Boom. Very good. Now what I'm going to do, I don't think we need this one anymore. We don't need the labs. Let's start getting rid of some of these old blueprints. Ah, here we are. Right mouse button to open. I want to get rid of these because I don't want to request copper. And I think we'll leave that. And yeah, I think we'll leave all of that actually. All right, let's do that. Come back down and oh, we have a substation and lights that need to be removed. There we go. Let's see, where are we at? This is the one. And it looks like we can almost do it. That one is in our way. Or was it the other one? See, now I'm not sure. Nope, that was it. Boom. Make it so. And start the next mining productivity. We need our mines to last as long as feasibly possible. Alright, deconstruct this to here. And in fact, go ahead and pull that down to there. This will go like that. Okay. So we're going to take our belts. We're just going to run them down like this, right? We'll leave these roboports here. More roboports are better than less, and we need to start establishing a large section of paths that robots can use to migrate from one end of the base to the other. When I originally started this, we didn't really know, me and my friend, we didn't really know if we wanted the robotic network to span the whole base, if we wanted everything to be connected. And at first it seemed a little daunting to do that, but now I think it's almost that we sort of, we have to do that. We need robots to assist us where the belts fail everywhere. That's why it's the robot mega base. Let's continue with our productivity research. Start using some of that electricity that we're paying for with nuclear fuel, and we're going to queue up steel plates to be requested to all of these chests, and boom. Okay, so now you see this is how the robotic network is supposed to work. So obviously we don't have a lot of steel plates in storage. So all they're doing is, hey, these chests need... Whoa, that was cool. They're saying, hey, these chests need a lot of steel placed into them. And so we're going to pull it right here from this buffer system, and it will fill up. It will make up. It'll get itself squared away. Let's go ahead and we'll put roboports here just to ensure that this area is good to go anytime steel is requested. Actually, I feel like these lights should probably be the same, like this, and then the substation here. There we go. Mining productivity 45, please. Okay, so we have essentially fixed our copper, iron, and steel production areas. So if we come over here, we can see, as hard as the robots are working and we still haven't quite caught ahead, there are no trains waiting, so the storage is filling up. That's great. Same over here with iron. No waiting, storage filling up. And then with steel, no waiting, storage filling up. That's good. That's what we want. The next thing we're going to swing by and look at, pretty sure we had some issues with red circuits, and that was the one resource we weren't really replacing as quickly as we should have been. I think copper plates were an issue for that, but it looks like they've backed up, and the green circuits have backed up, and plastic is actually really low. So plastic is crushing our red circuit delivery. Do I want to go and feed this train with 6 belts? I feel like that's the direction we were moving to, was to take the production end and load the belts as fast as we can. We could just put in requester chests and let the robots bear the burden of keeping everything squared away. I don't know, though. So if we really are having issues with our red circuits, then we need to go ahead and square this one away, same as we did with the copper and the iron. Because realistically, our production isn't a problem. I mean, it seems like we're making... No, our production is a problem. Because look, this is failing to keep up as well. And it's because of plastic. Yeah, the plastic's going to run dry. How are our... We just have the one plastic train, but it should be filling up very, very quickly. Yeah, it's going back and forth. Oh, it's using coal for transportation. Well, it could get here a little faster if it had nuclear fuel. I think we're going to go ahead and do it anyways, just because we're here and why not. So let's go ahead and rip all that stuff up. We'll put some of these on the network, and then we're going to say, hey, give me your train setup here, because I'm going to copy it. Oops. Get rid of that. No, not the one with the roboports, the one without the roboports. And let's go ahead and build it. So what, we're going to deconstruct down to here. And then, of course, to here, and there. Okay, just like that. Let's go ahead and deconstruct that. Carry these belts over like this. So we're still going to have to wait for the construction robots to get here and catch up. But everybody should have power once everything connects. We can put something here and then get some roboports over here to help make sure everybody is still on the network. We'll run this section down like this, right? So they're going to need some pit stops along the way to make this journey. We can go, roboport here. We'll just add in a couple more so they have options. Then we put our requester chests here, and at this point you get the idea, sort of what I'm doing. Did I already put these requester chests down? Oh no. This should be quickly before it gets within the network. This needs to be all red circuits. There we go, and now you'll be sending a solid fuel back. Why don't you go ahead and have one of these nuclear fuel canisters. Tell me what you think about that. Okay. I mean, at this point, everything should be pretty much connected. don't have any power. Everything should be on the network now. And they are requesting red circuits, but unfortunately I did not plan ahead to go, no, we need to put passive providers here so the robots know these are the red circuits we want them to grab. Otherwise we might have made a mistake because they're going to start pulling them from the robot storage at the factory's production side. So let's give them a few roboports here for good measure. Even though I don't think we'll ever need them here, that's fine. We're going to do them anyways. Oh, it's like one off. I don't like that. Nope, we're going to fix it. There we go. Right, and then... I think that's... Yeah, that's even. Okay, there we go. And now they're grabbing from the passive providers here and ferrying to front load in the chests that have a minimum requirement to ensure that the trains are moving as fast as possible. At this point, I think we need to go look and see what's wrong with the plastic, and then we'll wrap up the episode. Bit of a long episode. An hour kind of feels right for Factorio. We might keep these episodes at an hour as we work on the base. That way I don't have to edit a lot of parts out, and you can get a better understanding of how the factory functions. Oops, we don't have power over here. That's a little unacceptable. There we go, problem fixed. Alright, so we're going to cut over to the plastic, like we were saying. And that's over here by Green Circuit City. Or it's, no, Blue Circuit City, it's Green Circuit Production. Green Circuit Production hasn't stopped at all. Big use of our copper and iron, and it has more than kept up with demand. Plastic fell short a little bit. Ooh, on the supply side, it fell short. So I bet it's problems with the coal that we're having. Oh yeah, look at that. Where is this train at? Hold on. Right, so what's happening is because the iron mine is depleting, these trains are backing up and then the coal train can't get to its deposit. So here's what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this. Instead of coal pickup 30 million, we're going to send it to coal pickup 5.1 million until your inventory is full. Go ahead and go there. And I believe that should be over here. Yep, at this coal deposit. Not nearly as large, but not crowded. So we'll use that. Also, I think at some point we're going to have to reconfigure how we do. Let's let that be the last thing we do because we'll do that remote and I'll sign off while I'm doing it. So I'm going to upgrade all of the trains to nuclear fuel now so that we're not waiting any longer for it. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to copy a blueprint of the requester chest asking for nuclear fuel. And then I'm going to go ahead and go everywhere that trains are refueled and tell them, first of all, to get rid of this and to get rid of all this coal. We don't want to put coal on our trains anymore. Bad, bad, bad. No benefit. So let's go ahead and throw that coal there. See, if I was smart, if I was smart, we would take that and put it here. We'll take this and put it, let's pick up the inserters and we'll put this here. Okay, so I should be able to go 4 and 5. Perfect. Fuel, fuel, and fuel. And then, of course, these don't need fuel either. So let's go 4. Or they don't need coal. They do need fuel. I mean, all trains need fuel. But this coal supply line that we sort of had split and ferried over here to keep these trains fueled was something we did because it was convenient when the coal was there. But it's really not anymore. It's just not convenient. Okay, that being said, we can go ahead and queue up the nuclear fuel option. Here, and... Oh, you don't have a roboport. Okay, hold on. We can fix that. We'll copy this roboport and we'll put it here. There you go. And I think we'll put this one up here. Just for now, it's not the cleanest, but we're going to try and keep everything going as much as possible. And you don't have power, okay? So let's go... Actually, I'm really close to here, so I'll just put power in place. And then you already have power, which is good. Alright, so as you can see, this is sort of the process that I'm going to do. Oh, they don't have power, so again, we're going to build at range by just going, hey, why don't you let me... It's not going to do it, so I'm going to have to do 1 and then 2. That's fine. That's fine. We can get rid of that blueprint. And let's go ahead and we'll just add all of the fuel, which I guess that'll be over here. Are we able to just put it right over top since it's the same everything? But did that change it? Ah, that's the question. Did it change it? Oh, it did. It did, but it didn't empty the fuel out. Okay. Well, I want all that solid fuel removed. It's going to take forever for the trains to burn through all their solid fuel. The last thing I want is for more solid fuel to be put in. But I'm going to do this off camera in between episodes. Pardon me, now that you know just what I'm doing. And you can expect it to be done to all the trains, by and large. But this has been Factorio, the Mega Factory series, episode 2, where we have fixed our production lines for copper, iron, and steel. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good time watching because, as always, I've had a good time playing. Please come back next time as we begin to work on the supply side of our iron and steel and copper by improving our drill setup areas and helping the trains not get so congested while they're fighting for the remaining scraps of ore. But until next time, take care.